Hey everybody, Jim Powers with MaryvilleSaints.com and Saints Vision, and we hope everybody's doing well. I know it's finals week for all of our students and our student athletes, and we know they're knocking it out of the park this week, but wanted to catch up with some of our coaches and kind of see what they're doing on a day-to-day basis since we're still working from home and remotely. And joining us is our head women's basketball coach, Collin Lanam. And Collin, first off, the beard's growing in nicely. How are you doing, and what are you doing these days working from home and working remotely?
Yeah, things are going well. Family's healthy, and we're taking this in stride as well as we can with all things considered right now. So, day to day it's just like it was in the office in terms of what has to be accomplished on a daily basis. Don't have kids to worry about, so I'm fortunate to not have to be one of the new at-home teachers that some of my colleagues are right now. So it's been nice that I get to spend some time, with my wife a little bit more this time of year than I typically would. Get to spend a little bit more time with video, and it's kind of interesting. The silver lining to a lot of this is just how connected the coaching communities have come or have become. Not that they weren't before, but there's just such a sharing of resources right now through coaching clinics and that are going on literally every day of the week. So it's been interesting to be able to get different perspectives and point of views from the coaching side. That's kind of what, once finals week hits for our kids, we're definitely staying in contact, but that really opens up the opportunity for us to grow as coaches and as a staff, and try to evaluate, how the past season went and where we need to go moving forward. So, every day is a little bit different between, recruiting, reaching out to our kids and making sure that they're doing well in the circumstances and thriving in the classroom where they can, and then just trying to grow myself and my staff however we can.
And you just touched on something and kind of say, we're in the same boat on our side is, a lot of professional development, touching base with a lot of, colleagues, SIDs, administrators that normally this time of the year we're finishing up spring championships, and, we've never had time to have long, lengthy conversations. And we've been able to do that with a lot of our colleagues from around the country. And I've seen a lot of the coaching things that have been going on as well. And this is, the silver lining is, we're all growing in our, respective industries and growing as administrators and coaches during this time.
Yeah, it's been interesting. It kind of has taken the role of like what a typical convention might look like at different times. You miss the fellowship, and you miss, actually bumping into some old friends and meeting new people. But the collaborations among coaches, like, it's just, there's so many different options now and different people that are out there that, you have opportunities to not have to pick and choose who you're going to go see when you go to a convention, because you're limited on that. And you're able to get a lot of different opinions together. It's been interesting. I feel like the conversations have been a lot more efficient. I'm very anxious to see kind of where the real world goes when this kind of ends, because different things are becoming so much more efficient, because there's just not a lot of wasted resources right now. And I think that these coaching clinics have really showed that from a professional development standpoint, that we can still get a lot done and not have to be all necessarily in one place. Now, the old school piece of me misses that, and what likes to have that face-to-face contact. And I'm able to meet with my staff a couple times a week and have these Zoom calls, but it's just not the same as being in the same room and being able to have that face-to-face relationship. So it's good. It's got its positive and its negative. So, but we're doing well with what we have.
No doubt. And I know all of our coaches have been doing a terrific job in, meeting with our student athletes and our teams via Zoom and other ways. What are some of the things you guys as a coaching staff have been doing to, stay in touch with the team, stay in touch with everybody to make sure they're doing everything they need to do, and also just to have somebody to talk to if they're kind of struggling through this time?
Yeah, our team is actually really has been really good about, having inter-team communications. They have their own team Snapchats, they have their own group meet, text where the coaches aren't involved and a part of it. So they've always done a pretty good job of staying connected. I think it's more for us as coaches just trying to stay connected to them during this time and not missing out on their experience, because this is something that every group's going to come back from and have their story to tell and their experience from this. And we want to make sure that we're still a part of this whole experience for our program. So we are getting together and having Zoom conversations. We had our strength and conditioning coach that had been working with getting all of our student athletes programming from that standpoint. We gave our kids some things that they can do, but for basketball, it's not like a sport where you can just go step out back and play catch if you're a baseball player, softball player, or just bump a volleyball around. So our girls are in different circumstances right now. So some have access to a rim, some don't. So we're probably, if everybody's doing what they're saying they're doing, we're going to be the best ball handling team in the country next year. But just trying to stay in touch. I think my coaching staff and myself do a good job of just trying to touch base with our kids at different times. And with classes ending now, obviously we're having the discussions a little more frequently with academics and things like that. But more than that, it's just kind of a, hey, how are you doing, what's going on, what's going on in your neck of the woods, because we're pretty spread out geographically. Our roster is. So just kind of making sure that everybody's doing well and realizes the resources that they do have if things are not where they want them. And that's the thing that we talk about, is it's okay for this to not be a fine time. It's okay to struggle through this, and just making sure that they know they have people that they can lean on and resources they can utilize in this time.
And I think our leadership at Maryville has been very proactive. And when the announcement came down in March that we were going to be having classes remotely, working remotely, I really believe that we were ahead of the ball game than a lot of
Mhm.
other universities were in that aspect, because it almost seemed like it was a seamless transition. Even though, yeah, we don't get to see everybody day to day, we can still accomplish what we need to accomplish, and our student athletes can accomplish what they need to do in the virtual world.
Exactly. And I think the other piece to that is that our students are equipped for this. Our iPad initiative, in talking to recruits that are, in high school going through this, or junior colleges that are going through this, that are not necessarily set up for this from a technological standpoint. I think Maryville's done a great job of equipping the students to have what they need to be successful. And I think that's something that, I've heard Dr. Lombardi talk about a number of times, that a classroom isn't four walls and a desk anymore. It's being able to go outside, and it's being able to go do different things. And so I think with the digital initiative that had been pushed over the past few years, some courses had to step out of their comfort zone, but I think it's something that everybody had a pretty decent awareness of. And I think the quick turnaround that the faculty and staff made to equip everybody, from the professors to those that are giving resources, the life coaches and tutors and things like that. I feel like we really haven't skipped a beat. I know I can speak for my team. Everybody's doing well academically, and has everything that they need at this point. So when you're going through these trying times and have a lot of adversity and unknowns, to still be able to kind of hit the ground running is huge.
All right, here's the last question, and I know this is kind of the topic that everybody's been talking about. What are you binge watching on Netflix, Hulu, or even doing any of that kind of stuff?
Well, The Last Dance the past couple Sundays has been something that I've been watching and following those Bulls. I mean, I remember watching it as it happened. So it's been a neat experience to be able to watch that from a different perspective. Getting it from behind the curtains and the real deal. So that's been a blast to watch and to learn a lot from. I'm encouraging my players to watch that as well. A lot of them know who Jordan is, probably more because of his shoe line than anything, but never really had the chance to see him play. And so now, we when we have this discussion, the Kobe, LeBron, MJ conversation, they've got a little bit of reference to who this guy was and what he did for the game. So that's been a lot of fun. My wife and I just started watching a show called The Last Kingdom. It's kind of a medieval war type story. So that's been interesting. We just got started on that a couple days, so we'll see how that goes. But been watching some movies and a little bit here and there, but trying to keep myself from just sitting in front of the screen and getting out and trying to get some workouts in and taking the dog for a walk and things like that. So yeah, the 30 for 30 line is a good one too. My wife's a big Disney fan, so we signed up for the Disney ESPN package, and so I've been able to watch some old 30 for 30s that I hadn't had a chance to watch. So it's been good.
Awesome. Well, Collin, thanks so much for your time. Greatly appreciate it, and can't wait to see you on campus and in the office. And stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Same to you. See you, JP.
Collin Lanam joins us on our Saints at Home series, and we'll be doing these periodically throughout the next month or so, just checking in with our coaches, see how everybody's doing, and making sure everybody's doing the things that they need to do for when we come back to campus, we're going to be very successful. For Coach, I'm Jim Powers. Thanks so much for tuning in to MaryvilleSaints.com and Saints Vision. Have a great week, and as always, go Saints.